Hi Libra, here is your general reading for the month of September 2017. First of all, I just want to apologise for not completing the readings for this month of August. But unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, I received some heartbreaking news which just resulted in me being so emotionally upset that I wasn't able to do any readings. I did honour my personal readings that people had booked, but other than that, I just couldn't do it. So rather than continue with the August readings, as we are halfway through the month, I have decided to skip straight into September. Now, the card that you've got at the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups. And it is in reverse. The tens we know are endings and completions. The Ten of Cups, when it is reversed, it can talk about there being some issues within a relationship or within a marriage. It could be that some revelations or some secrets have come out which have created this unhappiness or this emotional discord. It can as well sometimes talk about two things. One, about how there may be somebody within the family that is causing some issues, is being a disruptive influence, which may be making or impacting on your relationship or the happiness of the home environment, maybe. But also with the Ten of Cups, you need to be careful that you're not allowing somebody else to dictate your happiness, that you're being true to yourself. And there may be a need in September for you to look within yourself. Now, the central issue is the Four of Swords. And this is needing to take a break. It's needing to sometimes put your thoughts to one side. Or maybe take a break in communication with somebody else in order for you to gather your thoughts. It can sometimes talk about a break in a relationship. But it can talk about somebody that is maybe feeling overwhelmed, is maybe feeling extremely stressed. And they just feel that they need to take a break from this situation. The thing is, in the recent past, we do have the Four of Wands. And this is a feel-good card. This talks about there being happiness within a relationship. It can predict marriage, engagements. Is it for some of you that you found yourself in the recent past where the person you're involved with has wanted to take this relationship to the next level, but maybe you're not feeling ready for that? Messages can go vice versa. But the thing is, we've got that happy, peaceful time with that Four of Wands. It talks about a feeling of stability. But then we've got this Ten of Cups here that really talks about the opposite, but talks about, it deals with our emotions and our feelings. In the present moment for September, you've got Major Arcana, the Hermit. The thing with the Hermit card is it talks about an enforced isolation. In order to gain a better perspective on something, to gain some inner knowledge. The thing we have to be careful of with the Hermit card, if we're talking about somebody that is isolating themselves from other people, and that may very well be the case because we do have this Four of Swords here, which is somebody taking a break. You have to be careful that you don't end up cutting yourself off too much. There may be a need for you or somebody else to go within, to have some time alone. But you cannot allow that time alone to take place for too long, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get caught up in that type of energy for a long period of time. Because then we can talk about isolation, loneliness, and withdrawal. The other aspect with that Hermit card, if we're dealing with a relationship issue here, which I feel we are, it can be talking about how one of you is withdrawing from this relationship, but the other person is wanting a deeper connection. That somebody is withdrawing on an emotional level. But with that Four of Wands there, the other person is wanting that deeper connection, is maybe wanting more commitment within this relationship. The advice card is the Four of Cups. The thing with the Four of Cups is whether this is talking about you or the person you're dealing with, whatever is being offered, they're not wanting it, they're not accepting it. It's almost like no matter what you do, no matter what you offer, no matter what you say, no matter what you give, it's just not good enough. And if somebody is in that frame of mind, whether it's you or the other person, it can almost feel that, as I said, that no matter what you're going to do, no matter what you're offering, this person's just not accepting it. It's just like, it's just not enough for that other person. Or you. Now, in the environment, we've got the Ten of Swords here. Again, like I said, the tens are the endings and the completions to these. But in this month of September, we don't have any aces in front of us. So I don't think these two tens, these two cycles are going to fully complete in this month of September. But the Ten of Swords is about somebody feeling let down by somebody else. Yes, feeling stabbed in the back. But just feeling really hurt by somebody. In terms of how you're feeling, we've got Justice here, Major Arcana. And this is talking about you wanting the scales balanced. It's about coming to a just verdict. It's about bringing problems to the surface and being able to resolve these issues in a fair and just way. Your outcome card is the Seven of Wands. When that card is reversed, it talks about challenges. It talks about how you're feeling as though... See, the thing with this card is when it's like this, it talks about there being challenges, but you're managing to stand your own ground here. When it's like this, you're not feeling as though you're able to win in this situation. It can talk about a lack of confidence. It can talk about feeling snowed under. But what it can also talk about is that you may be trying to avoid more conflict, more challenges. So you're not speaking up here. You're choosing to stay quiet. You may be choosing to take a break, make a break or a cut in communication. The thing with the Seven of Wands is there is a need there for you to speak up. To clarify the Seven of Wands, I got the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card about walking away. Having emotionally invested in something. It's a card about knowing that you've done everything you possibly can and there's nothing else you can do. But when it's reversed, you're not able to walk away. It may be a lack of closure. It may be this feeling of, should I stay? Should I go? Being in two minds here. And it may be because things are not because there is maybe this lack of closure. Maybe it's not you that's taking a break from communicating with this Four of Swords. It may be the other person. So you're feeling restricted in being able to speak up. You're wanting to settle things with this Justice card. You're wanting to resolve things. But it seems like the other person is not meeting you halfway here. And it may be that You may be choosing not to speak up at the moment because you may be afraid that the other person is going to walk away completely. So you may be choosing to stay quiet because you don't want to rock the boat. Because like I said with that 10 of Cups, you need to examine whether you are allowing somebody else to dictate your happiness here. To further clarify that 8 of Cups, I got the 7 of Swords. And while we know the 7 of Swords can talk about deception and betrayal, it can also talk about a difficulty in being able to take the steps to go into a new direction here. About maybe on some level feeling trapped here. Maybe feeling emotionally trapped. What I feel we're talking about here is that there is a break in communication between you and somebody else. Or there's going to be a breakdown in communication. And I think one of you here was really thinking and feeling that this relationship was maybe going to go to the next stage, was going to offer more commitment, was going to be a long-term committed relationship. But then one of you has started to withdraw from this relationship. And the other person is doing everything they possibly can, offering everything they can on an emotional level, is choosing not to speak up about how they really feel. Because I feel that somebody's afraid here of rocking the boat to the point that it could end up pushing the other person away. Maybe an element of like a codependent type relationship where somebody is really afraid that if they do speak up and say something, it could result in this relationship coming to an end, and the other person trying their best to avoid that. But knowing that they want these issues resolved and they want it to be, they want to act fairly. They don't want the relationship to come to an end. They want to resolve the issues. But almost this fear that if they do try to resolve the issues by speaking their mind, it could result in the other person leaving. That's what I'm feeling here. But the problem is, this situation is not going to improve unless the communication lines are opened. You've got to speak up and speak from the heart. You cannot allow your happiness to be solely in the hands of somebody else. This 4 of Cups may also be talking about you. That maybe, like I said, you are wanting something more out of this relationship. And the other person is not offering you everything that you want. So it may partly be as well that you on some level are not happy and not content with what that person is offering, because it may not be enough. You may be wanting more. But like I said, the messages can go vice versa here. But my main thing here is that whomever is choosing not to speak up, I think in the month of September, the time's going to come where you're going to have to. Because I do think the Hermit card is talking about one person withdrawing and the other person wanting to come closer, wanting a deeper connection. And the only way this is going to be resolved is by speaking up and not avoiding that. Okay, Libra, that does conclude this reading. I will be back again very soon to do your love reading and your ex-partner reading. Thank you so much for viewing today, and thank you for liking, sharing and subscribing. Take care. Bye.